behave, find your spark, laugh out loud, light the dark, my happy home. Where the heart can roam, roam, roam. Stories, laughs, and truth we show. Welcome home to my happy home. Happy home. Happy home.
Because there's no reason why it has to be a big grand gesture. It could just be you quietly walking away. Like I can recall a time where I realized I had to go no contact myself. And it wasn't dramatic. Nobody was throwing plates. There wasn't some like soap opera screaming match. It was just me sitting there after another phone call with this person, staring at my wall, completely drained. Have you ever hung up the phone and just feel like somebody wrung your soul out like a wet towel? Well, that was me in that moment. And here's the thing, it this wasn't the first time. It'd been years of the same cycle. They'd say something hurtful and I'd forgive. They'd promise to do better, but within days or weeks, we were right back in the same cycle of mess. And every time I thought, maybe, just maybe this time is going to be different, but it wasn't. That's when it really hit me that this wasn't a mistake. This is just who they were and what they were choosing to be. And I was the one who kept choosing to show up for it. And I got to a point where the boundaries felt like they were a joke, you know? So I'd say to myself, I can't talk about that topic anymore. It hurts me. And then 2 minutes later, guess what? They bring it right back up. Or I'd say, I'm kind of busy. I'll call you tomorrow. But they keep blowing up the phone like my time didn't matter. This is not love. This is control. It's manipulation. And every time I let it slide, I was teaching them that it was okay for them to disrespect me and the boundaries that I've created. The final straw came in the most minute way. We were in the middle of a conversation, and I shared something that I was proud of, a win that I worked really hard for. And instead of being happy for me, they made a joke that just completely ripped right through me. It was subtle, but it was enough. And I realized in that moment I could never be fully myself around this individual. I'd always have to shrink, tiptoe, or water who I was down. And honestly, that is exhausting. And that is also not love. So I had to make the choice. It wasn't a big announcement. There was no warning shot. I didn't send this long text message explaining myself because I'd done that too many times before. I just stopped. I stopped answering. I stopped chasing. I stopped handing them the keys to my peace. And when I tell you, at first, it felt like ripping out a piece of my own heart because going no contact isn't just losing them, it's losing the fantasy of who you hope they'd become. It's grieving a version of the relationship that probably never even existed. But the thing about grief is that it creates space. And once I gave myself that space, the fog began to lift. My energy started to come back. My joy came back. I could breathe without waiting for the next call, the next crisis, the next little jab or microaggression. And slowly I realized the silence that I thought would break me was actually saving me. So, if you're watching this and there's someone in your life who popped into your head while I was talking, you need to listen to that. Your body already knows, your gut already knows. Going no contact doesn't make you mean, it doesn't make you heartless. And I mean, there are quite a few signs that you can look out for when, if you feel or think that you should go no contact with someone. And one of the clearer signs it's time is when the cycle never changes. You know that loop. You bring up how they hurt you, they apologize, maybe they cry, they promise to do better, and for a moment you feel very hopeful, but then a week or two later they're right back at it again. The same disrespect, the same behavior, the same excuses. It's like watching reruns of a show that you hate but somehow can't stop tuning into. That's how I am with the show Sister Wives. I can't stand that family, but I hate watch it every Monday morning. When someone keeps showing you the same version of themselves, you should believe them. It's not a mistake anymore. It's a pattern. And if you stay, you're just volunteering yourself to be stuck in season after season of the same toxic series. Another sign is your boundaries being crossed. Your boundaries don't mean anything to them. Boundaries are like they're like the front door of your home. You get to decide who comes in, how long they stay, and under what conditions. But if someone constantly barges past your no, you know, whenever you tell them no, and they just laugh when you try to set limits, or they manipulate you into feeling guilty for having needs of your own, that is not love. It's not care. It's control. So picture this. You tell your friend, hey, I really can't talk right now. I need some time for myself. And instead of respecting that, they guilt trip you with, wow, I guess I don't matter to you then. That is not a friend. That is a boundary bulldozer. And you don't have to leave your front door wide open just because they don't want to knock. Then there's the way your energy tells you. Healthy relationships don't leave you feeling like you ran a marathon in high heel shoes. But toxic ones, every text, every call, every visit feels like you're preparing for some kind of battle. You see their name pop up on your phone and your whole body size, like, oh God, not today. Or what do they want now? This is not normal behavior. What it is your intuition waving the red flag in your face. If every time you interact with someone, you walk away drained, resentful, or just feeling like you need to cleanse your entire spirit, this is not connection. It is consumption. They are feeding off of you, and you are paying the bill in energy that you cannot afford to continue to lose. And then we can talk about the gaslighting and the manipulation. If you are constantly walking away from conversations, doubting your own memory, second guessing your own feelings, or apologizing for things that you know for a fact you didn't do, I'm here to tell you that you are not forgetful, you are not overreacting, you're being manipulated. So you call someone out for something and they say, suddenly you're the problem. They twist it. Oh, you're too sensitive, or that never happened. You're remembering it wrong. They deny, they flip the script, and suddenly you are apologizing just to keep the peace. This is not a healthy relationship. This is psychological warfare. And if someone thrives off of confusing you, controlling you, or making you doubt yourself, the healthiest thing that you can do is to step out of their game entirely. There's also the quiet sabotage. Pay attention to how people react when you begin to grow, when you start to win or accomplish things, when you begin to evolve into a better version of yourself. Do they clap for you or do they shrink away? Sometimes the people closest to you get the most uncomfortable when you step into your power. You tell them about your new job, your weight loss, your big move, and instead of celebrating with you, they they throw shade or take shots. Oh, don't get too excited. It probably won't last. Or they joke about your progress just enough for it to sting a little. This is not encouragement. What it is sabotage dressed up as concern. If you can't shine around someone without dimming yourself, then their presence is costing you way too much. And then, of course, there's the abuse. It could be emotional, verbal, physical, financial. It really doesn't matter what form it comes in. Abuse is abuse. And here's the line in the sand: if it is abuse, you don't need to think twice about going contact. You don't need closure, a conversation. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. You don't need to wait until the time is right. Abuse is not love, period. And protecting yourself isn't selfish, it has turned into survival. Going no contact is not an easy feat. It feels like grief because it is grief. You are mourning the version of that person that you wanted them to be, the version that you kept hoping they'd become. You'll second guess yourself. They might even try to guilt trip you back or love bomb you into returning. But listen closely. Protecting your peace is not cruelty. Protecting your mental health is not selfishness, it is a necessity. If while listening to this, someone specific just popped into your head and your chest got tight, that is not random. That is your gut talking. The truth is already there. And sometimes the bravest, healthiest thing that you can do isn't to fight harder. It's not for you to argue louder so that you can be heard. It's not you explaining yourself one more time in the hopes that they'll just finally catch on and what you're saying is just going to start to click to them. Sometimes the bravest thing is your silence, walking away, going no contact. You don't owe anyone access to you, especially not people who prove time and time again that they don't deserve access to you in any way, shape.
Myself at the spine.